Hello Clique friends, and welcome back to my channel. It's Teresa here. I have one last Halloween layout before I put fall to rest for my memory keeping this year. And I'm working with the Clique Kits Eastwick collection for this layout. And my story is me dressing up last year, and so I wanted to do a layout about that. So I started with this Simple Stories pattern paper, and I love pattern papers like this that already have some of the work done for you. They started with a sort of banner kind of thing at the top. It's a digital collection of embellishments, a doily, some words, the little witchy girl. And so that starts you off. And what I wanted to do was balance that top-heavy thing with the physical cluster at the bottom. And I also wanted to just do a little mixed media background here. And what this does is it links the two embellishment clusters together visually. So I grabbed a couple of paints and mixed media, and I'm just doing a really simple paint splatter background here with two Tim Holtz paints. One is Tim Holtz Distress in the pumpkin color, and the other is the Adirondack Black. And so I've just sprayed those on with an old paintbrush, and then I'm going to use this little stencil. It's got stars and dots, and I'm using this older like Heidi Swapp silver paste here just for a little bit of reflectiveness. And I already know I'm going to put the photo of me here at the lower right hand corner. So I'm going to do this silver around the photo and see how that goes. And I'm really liking that, just leaving a little bit of space and putting these stars just randomly leading diagonal from the lower right hand corner to the upper left where that other little witch girl is. So I'm going to let that just kind of dry overnight. And there you can see it's all ready to go. I try not to use a heat gun too much because that is what will warp your paper. So I got that all dried, and I'm going to go ahead and lay down my photo here using some foam adhesive tape. And that way I can tuck some of these embellishments underneath and around the photo. And so my goal here is to repeat this very horizontal line. I'm not going to do another banner per se the way that the pattern paper designer did, but I do want to use that horizontal line just to repeat this very specific left to right motion in the page design. And so the way I'm going to do that here is everything stems off of the photo and then just moving out all the way across the page, but sort of narrowing down as I get towards the edges of the page. And I had it kind of a little bit loosely laid out before I started filming. I'm just kind of like that. I kind of like to know what direction I'm going in. But you can see here how it's coming together. I started with the other little girl that's sitting on the pumpkin and the other pumpkin as well. And those sort of create the start of this second horizontal line, and then I tucked a label, I tucked the little label onto the right hand side so I can write my journaling there. A couple of tags back on the left hand side to balance that label, right? And then a couple of little things continuing on around. Some of those word strips were excellent horizontal elements that continue that horizontal line. Repeating some of the colors here, the orange and the black. I love how Halloween layouts give you that freedom because costumes are so colorful. And the costume that I was wearing, okay, it technically wasn't a witch. It was Little Red Riding Hood. But the fun part about these Halloween layouts is that it lets you do these colorful photos and still use the orange and black and silver and gray and a little bit of yellow. These beautiful warm fall colors still go, because that's the whole thing about Halloween, is the brightly colored costumes. Alright, so I had 2 little tags. Did you see how I cut those in half? And then the other half of each of those tags are also tucked around in this little embellishment cluster. And then I grabbed a little bit of yellow, it's like a little yellow braid from my stash here, just to add a little bit of fiber, a little bit of texture to the layout. Cutting up some more of those little word strips just to tuck in onto the tag. And then this little ephemera kit or ephemera pack had these tiny little hearts and bats. And so I'm using those to sort of surround and bring more emphasis to that background. And again, just moving your eye upward, that direct line, that direct diagonal line from the lower right to the top left. I wanted to tuck a few little things at the top of the photo as well. And I just love how everything sort of spills out behind this photo. And it's just glorious, all these layers. I hope you'll stop over at my blog and check out the detail photos, because that will really let you see how these layers look all together. And then, of course, extending this lower left hand side all the way over to the edge, using that little word strip banner. I'm going to write my journaling here. And so my journaling was about how much guts it took me to buy this costume and to put it on and to wear it. And it's a long story about that. You can see more on my blog about that. And if you follow me, then you know that I was raised in a really strict conservative home, and we weren't allowed to celebrate Halloween for many years. And I don't have any memories at all of trick-or-treating in a neighborhood at all. I don't think that we ever did that, and I don't have any memories of it. And so as part of my, growing up now, I'm finally giving myself permission to dress up. So I got that completed, and all the embellishments feel like they're in place. But there's a couple of things that I still want to add just from my stash. I want to do a little bit of a couple of enamel dots, right? And so I'm just going into my stash and looking for some black enamel dots. And I also found a little black leather bow. It's probably from Freckled Fawn from forever ago. And the little enamel dots are just from different places that I've just had in my stash for forever. And I'm just going to scatter those around. My purpose in that was because the background that I created turned out to be less black and more gray. And so I wanted to add a bit more dimension, a little bit more bling and pizzazz here with these enamel dots, but also to bring in a little bit more black on that background as well. And I think that works out perfect. It just has this feeling that like Halloween just sort of went bloop all over the all over the page from behind that photo, and I love that. I love that so much. And I'm also check out here how I'm using this little bow just to taking that embellishment cluster all the way across, just barely to the edge, just like they did at the top of the page. That looks so good. I also notice how I did just a little tiny date stamp that's on the bottom of one of those tags over there on the lower right hand corner. And then one last little thing, I'm gonna add this is my official title, and just using some black alphabets from LA Studio here to spell out Super Witchy Lady. Oh, that's awesome. All right, I hope that you will join us in the Clique Kits Facebook group and come on in, check it out, play with us, create with us, join in our challenges every month, and of course receive tons of inspiration on how to use these fabulous kits. Again, this layout was created using the Eastwick Kit. I will have links down below and also links to my blog posts so you can see those detailed close-up photos. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you had a wonderful Halloween and happy creating. I'll see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.